welcome to the Sweaty the Farmer and the Game Design, the land of the coveted, sacred, and community puzzle hidden plantain. This is episode number 18, the final frontier. I am the long name gamer the Sweaty.
And I am Lucho the farmer. Thanks for joining us this episode. This week, we will arrive to the promised land with ambitious and satisfying, long-lasting endgames.
But before that, let's take a look at this week's news. We have Destiny 2 latest post-quest puzzle. We have the new War First Race. The new WoW War First Race. And we have, of course, Help Australia with the fires and some assorted smaller news around it and everything. And unfortunately, for this episode, we don't have back our guest. Because we wore him down, yeah. He could not cope, apparently. We are too much, Lucho. We are too much. So, yeah, I know. Without further ado, let's get into our first news and our first episode of this year. Are you excited, Lucho?
Yes, of course.
Of course, yes. So, Destiny 2 latest quest puzzle. Do you know anything about it?
No, don't care.
Nothing. You know nothing about it. Lucho's no. All right, fair enough.
I look. Yeah. I give Destiny an honest to God try in the previous season.
Yes.
Couldn't care enough. Like it was an honest to God attempt to care about the game.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
I played a lot.
Yeah, you did.
I didn't care about the game. Like to this day, I spent like hundreds of hours. Still don't care.
What happened was, know that you don't care anymore and you try to care so hard.
I really did. I have never tried that hard for any other game.
Fair enough. Was this and I think it's gonna be something that they're gonna keep doing, because this season didn't have anything like big, like a raid or that sort of stuff. So they did this big ass community puzzle, right? So what happened is like the corridors of time, which is the thing about this season, is about time travel and Osiris, and he has a time machine, and you go around and you actually like break time and bring back Saint 14, which was dead, but now you bring him back from the past before he dies, something like that. Time travel stuff, wobbly stuff. And at some point 2 weeks ago, there was like kind of a weird sequence of numbers, a weird sequence of symbols that appear in the obelisk things around the different maps of Destiny, which is the obelisk is the this season's mechanic, quote unquote, that you care about synchronizing obelisk, and then they give you rewards, etc., etc. So Osiris tell you like, oh, go and after you do all the Saint 14 stuff and you save him from himself and all the stuff, they tell you, oh, go and explore the corridors of time. And the corridors of time has like passages marked with those symbols, right? So with the community figure out, it's like, oh, so you get this sequence of symbols from the obelisk, and then you go through it in the corridors, and then you end up in a room with a gravestone, right? And under the room, there's like a hexagon with like more symbols around in each face of the hexagon, and then some blockage around the hexagon, and they figured out that it was a map, right? And it was a map made of hexagons, and it was insane. It was like, I think it was like around like 700 pieces for the map. So all the community started going through it, because every time you went into it with a code, you saw a different kind of piece, like a different kind of hexagon with different stuff around it, right? So they pulled together all these pieces, and they pulled together all this between the community, and they did this ginormous map. Like, sorry. like a maze, right? And you have to find your way out through the maze. It took them like a week to do this, and all the hardcore players were happy. The community were happy. They were participating in this big puzzle thing, and they solved the puzzle. And that was the thing, right? And then you get an exotic quest unlocked for everybody because you solved the puzzle of these hundreds and hundreds of hexagon pieces, going through the maze, finding out what is the correct path, and then getting to the end of the correct path, and then they get your reward. And then if you did that, you get an special emblem that was available this last week's reset because the puzzle went away. So if you didn't do it in the 2 weeks that the puzzle was being solved, you won't get like the exclusive emblem, etc., etc. So kind of a price. Anyway, beyond that, you don't care about Destiny, Lucho. The interesting part is to the theme that we are going to discuss today. It's like, is this an acceptable piece of endgame? Doing
No,
like
it's
community
not
puzzles.
sustainable.
You what?
No, it's not sustainable.
It's not sustainable? What do
Nope.
you say that?
Because you cannot make enough puzzles to keep people happy for long periods of time.
Well, fair enough. That's a good point. But what if?
That's it.
Yeah,
that's the end of that
that's
argument.
the end of that. It's because I was thinking like, oh, this is a interesting model. Like you, one season you give us a raid, and then the next season you give us a weird puzzle.
No, then
puzzle.
the season without the raid feels lackluster, and that's what everyone is saying of the current Destiny season.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, but that's my question. So for you, this is not an acceptable replacement.
No, it lasted
for
a
a
week
raid.
for the people that care,
It lasted,
and
yeah, it lasted a week and a half, something like that. Yeah.
and I'm pretty sure people care more about raids and loot than a stupid puzzle.
Okay, fair enough. And that's the news. So if you're a Destiny player, still love the game, not like Lucho.
I tried.
Yeah, you tried. This was an interesting thing to witness as the community effort was put together all the pieces, and there were like data entry, and there was like 5 streamers with like Excel spreadsheets trying to solve this puzzle. And I don't know, it was interesting, and they put bounties for the people, and the people who came in with their pieces and screenshots. It was interesting in a community side of things.
If I have to be honest, it just feels like they are stretching the little content that they have.
You feel that this is stretching? This is the all new content, the corridors on time, and
Yeah.
the
But
things.
it's like it's just playing with the few little pieces that they have of new content,
Yeah.
and this puzzle thing is just stretching it thin.
I see what you meant. Yeah, that could be. Well, yes.
That's how it feels.
Well, yes. They did. I think they did something clever with they have. Like we have to remember that.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
the
there's this.
bottom line is that they still have little to no content, like new
Fair
content.
enough. I will give that to you. Technically, this will be considered new content, but like the actual construction of the
No,
maze
that's
and the puzzle
okay, sure.
environment and the corridor and all the
fair enough.
stuff.
It's new content, but like
Yeah.
if it is something that is gonna happen during the first week of the season, the patch, the whatever thing,
Yeah.
and then it never happen. Like it's something that you cannot repeat.
That is true.
Is
Something that is like, well, it is
like a story quest.
yeah.
Sure,
Yeah.
you play it once, and
Yeah.
and that's it. But Destiny 2 is clearly not that type of game. You know,
Fair. All right.
where people care about repeatable content and loot and MMO like things. So
Okay.
So it shouldn't be enough. It shouldn't be allowed to be enough.
Fair enough. All right. Yeah.
Because that's just saying, oh yeah, we can be happy with small pieces of stuff that doesn't matter at the end of the day.
It was interesting to see the salvation and everybody pulling the. That's my take on it. It was interesting community kind of event, which I don't see that much in other games. So For that, I would commend them. If it was a stretch of the content, yeah, I'll give you that for sure. Yeah, but the season has like plenty of new quote unquote content.
I have. That's not what I have heard from people.
Well, it's not as chunky as other seasons, but it does have content. I don't know. At this point,
Shouldn't all seasons be the same? Shouldn't
probably
we have
not.
some kind of consistency between the seasons?
Who knows? Not me. I
Uh,
I play
if it,
Destiny 2
no,
for relaxing purposes now. I just like at this point I was like I'm not gonna play this game seriously anymore.
yeah, but that's a problem for the game.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah,
That's not a good sign. Like,
yeah, and it's a thing about legacy and top down. It's something that we're gonna discuss today. Anyway, moving on before we are sucked into the hole that is Destiny for us to discuss.
I'm just saying, like, I'm pretty sure people are gonna expect some kind of consistency from season to season. You know, like
Yeah,
people like to know what to expect. When a
yeah,
new
that would be
season
nice.
comes, you expect new dungeons, new
XCYC. Yeah,
exotics,
yeah,
new
yeah,
raids.
yeah, yeah.
Just and if it is not consistent, that's gonna hurt the game.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
That's my point.
Destiny has not been consistent in their seasons. That is true. It's been all over the place. Some has
That,
raids, some has like interesting some things, but some lack some other things, etc., etc. Yeah, I will agree to
that's
that.
my whole point.
Yeah, yeah,
Consistency is important for long-term goals.
that is true. That is absolutely true. Anyways, oh, why is this? There you go. Oh, it took him a second. So the Warfirst race for Nyalotha, which is a new raid from
For
the
Mythic
new
Nihilota.
for Mythic Nyalotha for the new World of Warcraft patch,
This is something that I do care.
which is open season now. Tell us about it. Tell how it works. Like I've never. He told me to. Oh, you got to check the race to war first. I'm like, all right, I will check it out, but I have no idea. What does it entail?
uh, it entails to watch like the top guilds
Yeah.
in the world compete to beat the 12 bosses. So a new raid, which is Nihilota,
Yeah.
has 12 bosses.
Yes.
And the mythic difficulty, which is the most difficult tier of rating,
Yeah. The highest tier of rating.
comes on Tuesday, which is the weekly reset for the game. So on Tuesday, it will drop down, and then all the guilds will start competing to get the first clear of the raid. All the 12 bosses.
Cool.
In mythic difficulty. Yeah, because the raid's been out in normal and heroic, which are the previous two difficulty tiers.
And this is done for you to get used to the raid. I was gonna ask you that. Why they don't just like release it?
To gear
for
up.
To gear up
Yeah.
for it. So that's why that's why the other difficulties are like released just as the patch is released.
Yeah.
So they have like what 2 weeks to prepare, something like that.
Yeah, 2 weeks to gear up for the mythic.
Oh my god!
Because you know that the item level drops increases from tier to tier.
That is true. Yes.
So, like most raids will do at least like big guilds will do like a run on normal, and either feel comfortable. It depends. Like a lot of the big guilds, they play on the PTR.
Yeah.
And they go out. They go up straight to running heroic if they feel comfortable.
Oh, cool! In the live version.
In the live version.
All right. Yeah.
So they have 2 chances of the heroic gear.
Yeah.
And they'll try to gear the most important players with that gear. So.
Oh, all right. So what is the most important? Tanks. Probably.
Tanks are very important.
Yeah.
It depends. Maybe some healers. Maybe some
selected
some
DPS.
players that are playing like flex classes.
Okay.
Because it's possible that for some encounters you're gonna need more healers than others or stuff like that.
Yeah. Fair.
To make it super efficient. So you could be gearing a shaman, so that in one boss it plays DPS, and then in the next one it's gonna change to healer because they need more healers or stuff like that. So it depends, like rating team to rating team.
Yeah.
They have their own priorities. But
All right.
tanks are a safe assumption.
Fair enough. Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, as soon as it opens on the weekly reset,
It is go time.
It's go time, and it's gonna be super fun because it's gonna be at least a week of
people like
of race.
you tell me like, oh, there's gonna be like 16-hour stream, and like how? It's like how many people is it raid for? It's like how many people they usually run in World First? Like
I think 20 or
20
something.
people, Jesus. It's like 20 people just like doing it for 16 hours. That sounds kind of crazy. Like,
Yeah, but like I mean, like full disclaimer on that, like
Yeah.
those are like professional players, like
Of course.
like the Method Guild. So
Yeah.
they're like method players. They are paid for that stuff.
Yeah, to get the World First stuff.
No, I mean they're paid to play. So
I'm really new into World of Warcraft, but I'm really interested to see this. How is like the tippity top of
yeah.
like I remember once I saw like a dungeon race, like a dungeon tournament with Queen
Yeah.
69. Like he has like a team and he goes and do some time trial stuff, and it's like a race inside like who does certain dungeons faster in certain difficulties. That's how close I've been to like the highly competitive scene of World of Warcraft. But this is gonna be super interesting. Like
This is
super
interesting because this is something that happens. Like this doesn't happen all the time.
Yeah.
It just happens whenever a new raid comes out, which it's a couple of times per year. It's not super common.
So they get like I don't know, they get an IV drop so they can keep gaming.
I don't.
Or is that illegal? No IV drops allowed.
No, I mean they probably eat while they're playing and stuff like that.
Jesus, yeah, crazy.
But you should keep an eye. I think
wanna-
Method is gonna have like a 24-hour
Yeah.
stream. Limitless is also gonna have a huge team stream.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably refer to you to see which one of the teams should I follow.
I think Method has good commentators, like
Cool.
and they have dominated BFA for World First.
Nice.
I think they have the most amount of World First for the raids that came in BFA. And actually, this whole this World First race used to be like a completely community-driven kind of thing, of just people updating websites like Raid.io to see the progress.
Yeah.
And it just happened in BFA that big gaming teams got involved.
Oh.
And they brought up all like the sponsors and the money and the big streams and
cool, nice.
so this is a whole, like this event as you will experience it now is a best of
is the best
of our times.
Nice, that would be nice. That's nice.
Of the huge upcoming of like streaming services and Twitch and big gaming teams like Method that have a lot of money.
That sounds super cool.
It is pretty cool.
I wanna do this raid, but I have to buckle down like this week and actually do my stuff because I'm kind of like confused about it, the resources, and I haven't done any vision and
you haven't. If you can just send a message to our raid leader.
But I still have. I don't think I have the eye level yet. I think I'm around the 400.
I don't know what eye level are they gonna require, but you should ask. And like, this is the best time to join the raiding team for our guild because it's new raid, so no one is really geared up for that.
Okay, I'm gonna send a message then. I've seen the majority. I've seen the majority of the fights in videos and that sort of stuff. I will have
Yeah,
to
but
like refresh them, but it looks cool. I want to experience it. I want to experience it. It looks like super crazy and chaotic and stuff.
my recommendation is just send our raid leader a message, and he's not gonna say no, probably.
All right, fair enough.
And you're playing Warrior right now, no?
I'm playing, yeah, warrior. What is his name? Thingy warrior. DPS
Yeah.
warrior. Fury warrior. There you go.
I mean, if you can tank from time to time,
Do you want me to
that'll be.
pass myself to a warrior?
No. I'm just saying that it is usually harder to find tanks. So tanks have a safer position in any raiding team, even though our guild
Clearly.
is super chill and
Yeah, clearly.
they, like in my experience, like they never kick out people and stuff like that.
Well, I have to see if I can gear. I have to see how's
Give it
the
a
protection
gi-
warrior
gi-
gameplay and see
give
if
it
I
a
can
try as a
gear.
DPS,
Yeah.
and if you can, like throughout this expansion, if you can
Gear up the warrior
gear up
tank,
for
the
tanking,
protect line. All right. I will.
yeah, you will always find a place.
Yeah. Because I did like my time as a paladin tank, but it was like super. It is a lot, dude. Like tanking is a lot, especially like
Tanking is a lot,
yeah.
but paladin tanks have a lot of situational
Yeah,
spells. I have heard that
exactly. Yeah,
warrior
exactly,
tanks
exactly.
are a little bit easier to
Yeah, they're more
play.
forgiving. They're more
Yeah.
forgiving. They don't. They yeah. The thing about that is like paladin tanks are very good tanks, but they have like, oh, if you are in XY situation, then you press this and this thing that you only use in that specific situation.
All the paladin specs are really situational.
Yeah.
I've been slowly leveling up dark dark iron dwarf
Yeah.
in paladin healing.
Oh,
It's super
yeah,
situational.
super situational. Fair enough. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah,
So they're
and
complex characters, and
I suck meatballs playing healing.
fair enough. But yeah,
I miss my pets.
I will for sure message Maria. Anyway, so
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
it's gonna
do
be
it, and we should follow the race. It's gonna be fun.
yeah, it's gonna be fun for sure.
Let's see if someone can beat Method.
Yeah,
I think for the Theranos Palace, which was the previous raid,
yeah,
a Chinese guild almost beat
Oh my
Method.
god.
And like one of the things that should be mentioned is that
Yeah.
the raid doesn't open at the same time for all the zones.
What? So how does it work?
Yeah,
So
it
how do
works
you
on
make it
time
fair?
zones.
No, how do
It's
you make
not
it
fair?
No, it's not fair. Oh my god! All right, it's just not fair. All right, fair
It
enough.
is just not fair.
All right. Okay.
It first opens in North America, then Europe, then
Jesus. So it's
Asia, I
actually
think.
it's actually not fair. It's actually not fair, and that's it.
Yeah, and there's been like there was a discussion about if it should be a little bit more fair,
Yeah.
and the discussion is that if you're gonna make it fair on the lunchtime,
Yeah.
then the guilds will start asking for like private servers where they can exploit things, and
Fair enough.
some argue that part of the beauty is that these guilds are playing just in normal servers with
Yeah, that's the point.
everyone
That's
else.
nice. Yeah. That's a nice thing. All right. So you send me
So
this link. Well,
yeah, is
yeah. What is this
I know
about?
it's just if you don't like, maybe we should put it there in the description of the.
Yeah, for sure. Everything is going to description.
Yeah, but it's just like
under.
if streaming is not your thing and you don't like watching people talk,
Fair
you
enough.
can still do it all style and like update a website
Okay.
to see how the boss
to see
Chilling is going.
as you heard it. And fair enough. So if you're an old school dude and don't like streaming, there you go.
I'm not a big fan of streaming, so that's why I put it there.
That's useful. That's useful. There's people like you.
And I have to work next week, so
There you go. Yeah, you cannot be like
not all the time. So
all the time,
from
yeah.
time to time, I'll just have to be refreshing.
the website F2.
Yep.
All right,
It's
fair
fine.
enough. Into more depressing news now. There was like all the whole continent of Australia almost disappeared amongst the fires.
Yeah.
It was really bad because our leaders right now are really dumb people. And for some reason, like the bushfires have been happening in Australia like for a long time, right? But what happened was we have a bunch of climate change bullshit happening right now and nothing being done about it. Combined with like for some reason the new PM of Australia is a dude who used to work in the tourist side of the government, and he for some reason cut out a lot of funding for emergency services, right? So he put two
Yep.
and two together, and then freaking disaster happened. So it was like the hottest year ever in Australia, and all the bushfire came up at the same time. And then with cut funding, there was not enough resources on it, and it was like, and the actual help services warned the government that this was going to happen, like in October, September, and
Yep.
they didn't listen. And now half of the country is burned down. More than half of the country is burned down. And like a lot of species, is a big environmental disaster to open the year 2020, which is, so for the love of God, you that have a conscience, buy the Humble Bundle, my friends gamers. And if you're not a gamer, still buy the Humble Bundle. Donate to your favorite charity.
It is one way
Yeah.
of giving donations. You can also directly donate to some relief funds. So
yeah. So to help this disaster is a shame, and it's like Australia is such a cool country, even if people are like they laugh about it because it's full of like deadly animals and that sort of stuff. But it's a very cool country, and this is just sad. It makes me sad, like personally, it makes me really sad, and I have to call and contact a bunch of people when this was happening, because I have a lot of friends in Australia, checking up on everybody if everybody was okay. Fortunately, the closest thing that I heard was one friend that had a part of his family that live in the bush, as we call it in Australia. Have his entire like house and like farm and all that burn out, and they're like kind of suffering for it, and they have to move back into they're very, very sad about it. And it was terrible, but everybody was okay, so that is nice.
Yeah.
So please
support all the relief efforts and
for this. Yeah. It is important, guys. It is really
it is a serious matter.
Yeah. I know that we're light on our teams, but sometimes the ugly truth of the dumb and ridiculous world that we live in rear his head.
Yeah. This is an important matter. So
yeah. And into kind of a sort of news, a bunch of things happens when we're in our holidays. So let's go through it. So we have Iceberg finally on PC, which we've been playing, man. But we started playing yesterday, and
after all the debacle with like poor performance, and the game was basically unplayable on PC
in launch,
for a lot of people when it launched.
Yeah,
for more than that.
Yeah. So they did it. It's now kind of stable, but at least on my machine, it's kind of stable. It's working fine. I'm not pushing
in my machine is stable, but it is still pushing my CPU to
for
like
some reason
80-90%.
It's like the worst thing ever. Like it used to be like when I started playing Iceborne, it used to be the way around. So that it used to like push a lot my GPU when I
No,
so
but
I
that's the thing that makes sense.
yeah, that's the thing that makes sense, right? What it doesn't make sense is like for some reason it needed a bunch of CPU resources that it didn't used to.
So yeah, apparently some people are saying that the new anti-cheat thing that they implemented
Yeah.
is what is hurting the CPU.
So how do you cheat in Monster Hunter World? Is my question.
Oh, you can make the monsters
Weaker or something like that.
weaker. Yeah, you can increase the
Oh,
damage numbers on your weapons.
that makes sense. All right, but okay, that's
Like
dumb.
you can modify the game in a way that is not fair anymore.
Fair enough. All right, that's why they have that. Fair enough. So
Yeah,
yeah,
but like apparently it's a really poor implementation, and that's what eating up the CPU. And a lot of people who have gone to the troll of working their way around around the anti-cheat thing,
yeah.
they have found out that like the CPU usage drops from like 90 to like 40-50%.
Jesus. Yeah, so it's
So
ridiculous. Yeah,
yeah, so there's a chunk of the community there claiming and these are claims
yeah,
that that's what's hurting the game.
yeah.
And yeah,
No,
Capcom had said no, and we're gonna do something, but they
they're
haven't
still
really.
they did work a patch that for me at least like it reduced the uses of my CPU. And then they announced yesterday that they're working in a patch
They can
for
say
the
whatever they want.
they're working in a patch
That's
for the end of month in that issue. So let's wait and see. But nevertheless, the game's still freaking gorgeous and insanely fun.
it's a good game, but they should fix their technical
I'm
problems.
yesterday I went to sleep just thinking about, oh my god, I have to like recheck like what I'm gonna do in Iceborne and the build and stuff. I was like super hyped for going back to Monster Hunter World and actually like played it a lot. Anyways, so that happened in Monster Hunter World Iceborne. Of course, we have the launch of the new WoW patch with all the controversies that it brought,
Yeah,
like
8.3.
which are interesting cinematics and the new system for the visions of Nasoth and bugs, infinite bugs in launch, and then they fixed the bugs in launch, and now the Lucho was telling me yesterday that they just like put up the drop rate for the visions so people can do more visions because apparently it's the most fun thing to do in the patch, right?
It is really fun. Like you've done visions,
Yeah, yeah. It's just it looks like really cool. It looks like a mini dungeon with more objectives and that sort of stuff. Like
but more than that, it's like this content, like just the concept of it is a system that where you have to balance out actually completing the objectives and doing it in time.
yeah,
And the more you do it, the better you do it. It's just appealing. Like it just
it's cool. Yeah, it's definitely
like
cool.
you have an upfront reason to engage the system.
Yeah, and be cool with and be
Yeah,
interested in it. Yeah. So everybody's just saying that was the best part of the patch. Like that was the collective
it definitely is the
agreement.
best part on the
So
patch,
people,
especially because we didn't get new dungeons, which
yeah,
is I think that was a mistake.
it was unusual. Yeah, apparently.
No, it's because when they don't have new dungeons on a big patch like
Yeah,
these point something patches, which are the big ones.
yeah.
It always feel like it's lacking content.
Fair enough. Yeah, yeah,
And what a lot of people are saying is that since basically they reuse some of the old songs
yeah,
in Cataclysm and Pandaria,
yeah.
they maybe should have taken some of the old
Dungeons and
dungeons
retool
and
them.
put tentacles on them.
Yeah, that'll be good enough for us.
And yeah, that it will be thematically appropriate.
Yeah, Yeah.
if they took dungeons and those zones or related to those zones in those same expansions,
Yeah.
put some tentacles in them. And since I mean, since basically we have a lot of new stuff going on with like Mythic Plus dungeons and
Yeah.
things like that,
Yeah.
they will feel fresh. Like the whole
Yeah. It's,
Mythic systems like
yeah.
refreshes.
I agree to that, and
So
it doesn't seem that complicated to do.
yeah, but I don't know. Also, a lot of people have been saying that after some of the layoffs, morale in Blizzard hasn't been
Yeah, that is bad.
up there,
Yeah,
and
and it makes sense.
there are a lot of people speculating that they had this hard deadline
Yeah,
to
for the
launch
patch. Yeah,
8.3, and it was probably not ready.
yeah, that is true. It felt it like
And
that in launch,
yeah, and it seems like some of the developers are not happy with the state that it launched,
which
and
makes
then the
sense.
news drop about like not that we're not gonna get an
8.3, 8.5.
8.3.5, and
Yeah,
that just seems to speak about how stretched thin the team is,
yeah,
because they seem to be saying basically, yeah, we don't have the people
to do it.
to point 0.5, so we're gonna put all of our efforts into 9,
Shadowlands.
basically.
Yeah, so next expansion.
That's yeah. I mean,
This is it is sad because Blizzard's been suffering from upper management from a long time. Like since Activision
yeah.
Blizzard, it's been a problem, and they've been like
It
gutting
seems
teams
I don't know.
and
I mean, to be
processes.
fair, we don't know how things work, but
Yeah,
it seems that it's that way. That it's like the Activision Blizzard people, the ones who are setting up the deadlines
yeah, and they
and
have no control.
enforcing the stuff that can like hurt the development cycles and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I was talking with Nicholas, a friend of mine, with Nick. He was on on the podcast before about what is happening right now with the industry, and like it's sad that what had to happen for the industry to change course about these like super quick the development cycles, and like just make it for the highest profit that you can do, has to come on the heels of a big disaster inside the actual company. So my example is EA. Like last year, EA had a bunch of controversy last 2 years. So you have like Battlefront, and then they stopped getting good revenue from the other sources, and then in the midst of like their stocks change going down and all the things doing badly because of their scheme of just get rich quick with microtransactions, come in Apex Legends and save the entire company, right? And according to some insiders, information that we have about the industry, it was because the he's the producer. I think he's the producer, the big producer of Respawn Entertainment, which is the one that did Apex Legends, right? He has a lot of stock into EA, so he has a say in the actual board, and he protected the studio a lot, right? And that prevented that made that Respawn could do Apex Legends in peace without all the things about, for example, all the things that happened around the Anthem launch, and they have to like use Frostbite, yes, and then they have all these super hard deadlines and all the disaster that happens inside that production. And now that was the only product that actually saves them, and now that they have like after that the new Star Wars game, which was partially um he was partially involved in the production of that. Now he's the CEO. Now he's the new CEO of EA. And now they're changing course finally. Now they're going back to make like actual like reasonable games and protect their customers.
Here, then jump your horses. We'll see.
I know that it's judging horses,
No,
but
no, 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 no.
that's how it's looking at. And
That's
then
I know what you're saying. I know
yeah,
where you're coming from.
yeah.
Nah. Then
Because
don't saddle the horse before getting it.
because my next example is the same thing as Ubisoft. They had such a bad launch of the last game that they have to restructure the entire launch and release stuff because they're the industry is learning. The people that buys
No,
video
no, no, no,
games
no,
are learning
no.
to not buy broken
Those
stuff.
are big claims. No, 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 no. Those are big claims.
You don't agree with me?
No,
Oh, come on.
I completely disagree. You're being too naive. That's not how things work.
I'm not being naive. What do you mean?
Like money people are always gonna, like, sadly enough, when companies get large,
Yeah.
like the money people are gonna have a huge saying on things.
All right. So
Unless there's like a fundamental restructure of how the industry works,
mm, yeah,
and I don't see that happening. So
I
I'm
I don't know.
skeptical.
All right, fair
Don't.
enough. You're skeptical.
like EA and like Activision Blizzard, they are huge companies.
Yeah, that's true.
Where like the people who are putting up the money have a huge voice because it's a lot of money.
Yes, that is true.
So yeah,
So what do you
things
think? What do you
may
think is gonna
change, but
happen in Blizzard? So for a change to be clear that they
I don't know. Activision
cannot.
Blizzard it's a beast on its own, and you know that it's mainly owned by a Chinese company, so
I know, right?
it's hard to tell.
Yeah, it's hard to tell what's gonna happen. Anyways,
So
so yeah,
I wouldn't be hopeful for any big uh
developing companies.
developing publishing thingy.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, fair enough.
So no, don't be naive. Like
Eh,
just because a couple of games and a couple of good people, like also just the fact that good developers are now in charge doesn't mean that they don't have the guns pointed or at their heads.
yeah, fair enough.
Because the CEO is just another employee.
That is true. That is definitely true.
If he makes decisions that, like, if he starts fighting too hard against the money people, they're just gonna replace him.
That's what
Easy
happened.
peasy,
That's what
lemon
happened with the
squeezy.
director of the Overwatch League.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
don't. So that's what I'm saying. Like, changes don't come from CEOs because they don't have the power
Yeah.
in company, like in big companies. They're just another employee. Their job is to make things make money.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
CEO's job. It's
I
not
was being
development. It's not happy customers. None of that matters.
I was being optimistic, but
No, that's not. But you know
yeah.
that's not how the world works. Like, like if you're the CEO of your company and you own it,
yeah,
sure enough,
yeah,
you can.
fair enough. Yeah.
That's not Blizzard Activision. It's
Yes.
not.
And for last small news of this holiday is that Cyberpunk 2077 was delayed to September from our start development CD Project Red. It was due to come in August. I think it was August. No, it was what is that month? Yeah, it was due to come in August. No, it was due to come in May. Sorry, in April. Sorry, in April. Yeah, it was due to come in April. So this quarter, and it was delayed to September.
Okay.
Because it needs some polishing, which is fine. Like everybody expects so much about this game. They have such high expectation that they have to try to deliver the
I
best that they
kind
can
of
do.
hope they fall flat in their faces.
Why, Lucho? Why are you like that? You just want to see the world burn.
No, because people need to learn to not overhype anything.
Well, people need to learn to not overhype anything in general.
They are gonna get disappointed.
They probably will get disappointed because the hype for this game is so high that there's no game on earth that can exist that will meet all the all the expectations. That is absolutely true. That is absolutely true.
And it's even funnier when they fall flat in their faces, like
Come
Anthem.
on. They're good in
It was
development.
really fun to watch burn down. Like
They probably wouldn't fall flat in their faces.
you never know.
Probably, I'm hoping they never had like a botch launch or anything in their past games. So record shows that they do okay.
There is always a first one. So.
Come on, Lucho. Anyways,
Like,
that's our news for the day, for this
I
week.
hope it burns into Australian
Ah,
fires.
oh my god. And with that, we move on to our main topic. And as
Yeah.
always, we put a disclaimer here. These discussions based on our own opinions and our own in-game experiences. There's not there is some facts here, but not everything is a fact. The majority of things are speculation and analysis and stuff that we think about it. So don't take it with a grain of salt, as you said, right?
Yep.
So we finish our End Game Trilogy.
Yes, but wait, before
Oh,
going there,
yes.
um, I think we should apologize because we took a long time around the holidays. It's been like 2 months.
2 months? It's been 2 months?
Maybe.
I think we did the last thing in 21 of December.
Really?
Yeah.
It's been a month. That's too long.
Yeah, it's been a month of
I I, I
holidays.
f-
Yeah.
I feel like that's too long, and we should apologize for
All
that.
right. We apologize because we took two longer holidays and we're not
Yeah.
diligent enough. We're
Also, no.
yeah.
Also, we didn't announce it, and that was the real problem.
We didn't announce it that we went out for holidays. Did we
Yep.
forgot?
We didn't do it.
Jesus. Okay. Yeah. That's bad. That is bad.
And that's your fault.
Oh, it's my fault. All right.
Yeah, because you were the one who went for you disappeared in
Yeah, I
the
went
jungle
for a
for like
really big
a month.
holidays. Yeah, I know. I went for
But
like
you were not sure when it was gonna happen, so we couldn't plan
yeah,
completely
that is true. That is
clean
true.
around it.
That is absolutely true. It was kind of chaotic when we went out
Yeah.
and I come back.
So
Yeah, and that sort of stuff. So, but I apologize for not neglecting to actually inform you
yep,
where all the things were happening, even if it was like kind of chaotic what
it was, but
happened.
that's not an excuse. We
That's
should
not
do better.
we should do better. We will do better.
We should at least announce it because a month long hiatus, it's a long time
Yeah, it's
in
definitely true.
internet time.
In internet, yeah, in internet in internet years that's a long time.
Yep. So
So yeah, we apologize because we took too
it
long
took
of
us
a
long,
holiday.
and we were planning on coming last week, but
Yeah,
I was traveling and my weekend was all messed up.
yep,
I lost a couple of hours of sleeping.
yes, and yeah. So yeah, we apologize in general. We're sorry,
Yep.
guys.
Yeah.
We
No.
we'll have to do like a bow down Japanese stuff.
Yeah. We yes.
and,
Yes.
and we apologize for it. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we should do better with announcing when we're going dark.
Yes. Which it doesn't happen that
Because also
often.
you went dark and like you never mentioned it on your stream or anything like that. So
I did announce my holidays on my social medias though.
yeah, but that's true.
Yeah.
But you never told for how long. And there were people asking like, when are you gonna come back?
Yeah, there were people asking for when I was coming back. Yeah, that's true. I didn't say
So
because I wasn't sure when I was
I
coming
know,
back. Yeah.
but I,
I didn't have like a
I know that you
specific
were not
date.
sure.
Yeah.
I'm not saying. I know that. I'm just saying that.
Maybe we should have said like, I'm not sure when I'm coming back. Maybe between this and this. Maybe that was the correct thing to do,
I'm
right?
just saying that to keep your audience happy, especially,
Yeah.
you should be more.
More communicative, maybe.
Maybe more. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just I people like to know when things
People
are
like to know.
happening.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
So I will be more communicative then.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah,
And
but let's move now into our topic after our deep bow.
yes, we did bow, definitely. Anyway, so after all that, we arrive to the end of our end game hard discussion.
Yeah.
And to remind everybody what is the end game definition that we land on 2 episodes ago. A clearly designed activity with an aspiration goal. That was our hard end definition for what an end game was, right?
Yeah.
So, first thing that we have to discuss: is it worth to have end game in all the games?
No.
No, definitely not, right?
No.
No, right?
I mean, if you're writing a story-driven game, probably experiencing the story is the end game on itself, and
Yeah.
stories have an end for the most part. Like a good story should
Yeah.
have a conclusion and a sense of completeness.
And this is the thing about, like, the industry was struggling about this because they always wants the games to, like, generate infinite revenue. So everybody want to have an end game in their games because there's more opportunity for microtransactions and DLCs and revenue in there. But I think they're learning that not everything needs an end game, and there is not enough time or players to sustain some that every game has an end game, right?
Yeah. I think. What do I think? I think we are. Do you know how, like, in the early 2000s,
Yeah.
a lot of MMO-like games came to life, and they just saturated the market, and most
Yes,
of them died down, and now we have a couple of survivors in the genre.
that is correct. Yeah, that was the wow effect, or that's the following
Yeah.
trending effect.
Yes,
Yes.
and I feel like what we've been experiencing lately is like a similar kind of thing where people realize that, okay, we are not gonna do MMOs, but like
Yeah.
MMO like stuff, like account, like we're just gonna put account persistent stuff in all the games.
Yeah, because we are in the trend of, like, follow the,
Yeah, but
like,
I feel like that's saturating the market now. Like
absolutely
every game has
insane content game forever that will
it's
take
not
you
even
hours and
insane. It just
hours.
has systems
Yeah,
designed to grind and spend
a lot of time on
infinite
it.
amount of time.
Yeah.
Like you know, stupid things like racing games. Like they have now
Yes.
RPG like
Yeah.
progression system, which you think about it like the
like
fuck is going on?
like it makes sense. It makes sense, like, if you have, like, oh yeah, you buy parts and then
Yeah, I know, but
you have the
that's
car,
how.
but that's not it. That's not it. It
No.
actually has progression.
Yeah, it has like skill trees and shit.
Yeah.
Like what the
Why?
fuck? Like no, like if you remember, like the old
Yeah, the old
Need
arcade
for
games.
Speed games.
Yes, he was just
Yeah, like they were like they had progression system, but it was you
normal. Yeah, you
play
just get more
races, you get
cars.
money, and you buy parts, and
Yeah,
that's
or buy parts
the
or
end
cars
of
or
it.
whatever. Yeah, or
Yeah.
cosmetics. Yeah.
Or you do challenges to unlock the cars, and
and now you
that
have,
was
like,
it.
and then the perfect example is that this game called, what was the name, Drive, I think, something like that. And it's like an
Right?
actual MMO, like open world MMO for cars. You've seen this,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, it is actually interesting. Like, I was watching somebody playing it. It was like, it's interesting, but it has, like, oh yeah, you have, like, driver skill trees where your driver can turn better.
It's so stupid.
When your driver can, like, do better drift, or your driver can, like, brake better, something ridiculous like that. I was like, what? Just get
It
it,
is
what?
it is so stupid.
So
My
yeah,
point is
yeah,
my point is that I feel like we're now reaching that like saturation point of
Absolutely, I agree.
all the games have MMO like features or
Yeah.
like RPG like features.
Yeah.
And I feel like people are getting tired of that. Like, dude, dial it back.
Yes. And you know what you want to know what's funny? You know who started all this trend?
Whoa,
No,
the
he's the
ultimate
originator,
money
but you know
making.
who started the idea that you can have WoW like elements in every game?
Destiny.
Destiny. Destiny was the one that tell him, oh yeah, you have like you can stuff RPG like long term stuff in a game that is not designed for it. And
I mean,
then
you could argue that Borderlands came
you
before
can
that.
argue that Borderlands, but Borderlands has had a different approach.
It had a
Like
different, but
it
it
doesn't
still had
it did have
no, but
the loot thing, but it didn't have the RPG systems in the
it
first
had
ones.
no, it had a
But it
it
was
had a
not that
skill
deep.
tree.
Like in the first
No,
ones, it was not
yeah, it was not that
that
deep.
relevant. Yeah,
But that's the first theme that you saw,
yeah,
like an RPG like feature
in,
show its ugly head and
yeah,
then FPS.
in weird places. And now we have third persons like the Division, is which Division One it was apparently terrible game when it launched, and then it become a good game. And Division Two is like a very good game because they actually took those elements at heart.
Yeah, but the point of the division was successful because their selling point was uh that just like raw PvP, like unnormalized PvP
Yeah,
areas
yeah, yeah,
where you
yeah,
can still loot.
yeah,
That was
yeah.
the selling point.
Yes, that
So
is true.
it was a still like I feel like the division and even the division was at heart an RPG game
Yeah,
just with guns.
yeah,
And the selling point was like, but we're gonna let you steal the loot and like
yeah.
just do a
Do
stupidly unbalanced PvP.
yes, that is true. But yeah, he started all that trend, and yeah, and I think yeah, everything's been dialed down. I think we're starting like with the success of like God of War and The Last of Us and the last Star Wars game. I think they're finally realizing that not everything needs an infinite amount of grind.
Yeah, I think especially games like The Last of Us
Yeah,
are are, are clenching that thirst for like good stories and like
yeah,
complete games that like you just played once or maybe a couple of times,
yeah.
or even games like Near Automata and stuff like that.
Yes, yes. Even if Nier
Like it
Automata is
has
a weird
its things,
example.
but it's a full story that you may play a couple of times to see all the endings
Yes, a
and
couple of times.
things. I mean, it's like multiple times,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
sure. But by the still as the story, like it has no end game on itself. Like the thing
Yes,
is
no,
to
no, no.
watch
Yeah,
all the
that's true.
endings
Yeah,
and
yeah.
experience all the
All the story
storyline.
pieces. Yeah, yeah, that's
But
true.
that's a finite amount. Like you'll finish at some point.
Yes, you're not
And
doing
after that,
infinite,
like you saw the game.
and that's it. And you put, and
And
then
that's it.
you hang it out like a good picture.
Yeah, and you can come back to a game in time.
Yeah.
Like you can replay the game.
Yes.
But I feel like those are the ones that are showing like, yeah, we can have good games with no end game,
Yes.
but just like nice stories, like interesting mechanics,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, not.
But we'll see because definitely Beast of War that's been out for 15 years. It still looms over the industry as the example of the game that survived.
That it has like repeatable content, repeatable monetization schemes all around, repeatable country of players engaged in the game, and it's like the dream that every company wants to have.
It is the golden goose.
Yeah, it is. It
Geese.
is absolutely, and replicating the Golden Goose has been like I don't know, near
It's, it's,
impossible. Like, can you think
it's,
in a game that has been as successful at like engaging audiences for that long time that is just an RPG? Because I can think like, of course, League of Legends did that, but
or,
League of Legends is not technically an RPG.
no, League of Legends
Yeah,
is its own thing.
and it's the only thing that is closer to have like in the video game industry to have that level of engagement and that level of like long term durability. Is there any other game that it comes close to WoW?
I mean, Runscape? I don't know.
RuneScape.
People still play
I
RuneScape.
know, right? It's ridiculous. I remember back in the day when I started my first university, my first career. People were playing that in like recesses. In like it looks ugly. It still looks ugly as hell. It was like, oh yeah, this game is the best. I could never get into it.
I think I was too young to like when I played to get
Yeah,
into a game
fair
because
enough.
apparently the game has a lot of complexity.
Yes,
But I
apparently.
was like when I played, I was too young to really get into it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So maybe later.
But
I don't
even
know.
so,
Maybe if I
like,
played now,
but even
but
so, it's like I found like World of Warcraft even like 100 like so many times more appealing than RuneScape in every sense of the word. Even I tried RuneScape. I remember I tried RuneScape back in the day, but it was like, why? No, no.
yeah, fair. I have tried it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I I was so stupid when I played. So
So RuneScape, which is ridiculous, is the only
Eve
thing that
Online,
comes close.
Eve Online. It's been out since 2003.
Jesus. Okay. So yeah, it's the only thing that comes
That's
close, right, to the Golden Goose.
yeah, but the problem is that I feel like Eve Online, as big as it
Eve.
is,
Oh, Eve. Oh,
if
Jesus. Eve. All right. That's another word unto itself.
yeah, but like I feel like Eve, for as big as it is as a game,
Yeah.
is somehow not as popular as
Yeah.
WoW.
The only
Like
time
everyone knows about World of Warcraft.
everybody and the grandmother
Yeah.
knows about World of Warcraft. Like it's in the collective. It
Yeah.
reached popular status. It reached actually like popular status where people who didn't know anything about games know what World of Warcraft is.
Yeah, it definitely permeated pop culture.
Yeah, absolutely. Eve never got there. Eve has eyes to people that is in the games, into games, right? When you see the
Yeah.
news about like, oh, if there was like this big corporation war, and then he actually loses people actual real dollars.
Yeah, if it's a more niche game
Yeah.
in that sense. But it's been going strong for 17 years now, apparently, which is crazy.
Wow. 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 Yeah, I remember I tried Eve a couple of times throughout the years. I didn't realize it was like that old. Jesus. Okay. There you go.
But but again, there are not that many. Like you can probably count
Yeah, in one hand.
maybe a dozen of games that
Yeah.
have been out.
And Eve is being working. How? Yeah. Jesus. I haven't thinking Eve in a long time. Anyways.
Yeah, but like what I'm saying, yeah, I feel like we are reaching that point of like where the MMORPG influence it's starting to wear off for a lot
Yeah.
of people.
Yeah, it's time to stop.
It is time to stop. It is time to make just games that can end and
Yeah.
so that people can enjoy them. They're not for me, definitely, because that's not the thing that I play.
Yeah.
But I can appreciate why people like them and how it feels more satisfying to finish a game, you know?
Yeah. You just finish it, and that's it. You
You
see all
just
the
finish it.
story, and then you see the credits roll it, and you put it away. And you
Yeah, and
feel
just say,
nice about
okay, I
it.
finished it, and you
Yeah.
feel happy about it.
Yeah.
I can see that, but not for me. But it
Yeah.
should happen more.
Yeah. So yeah, no, definitely not all the games needs games, definitely, and it's good that the industry is actually getting to the point when they're moving on from it.
Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully they move on. They're probably gonna be like still some.
There
Hopefully,
will
hopefully,
always
if,
be.
yeah, hopefully for the better will still be some components here and there of like trying to get you to end game in that sense.
There will always be, but like it's just that we have to stop putting it everywhere.
In everywhere, yeah.
Not every genre, not every game needs it or requires it.
Yeah.
Or it's even better with that. Like
Yes,
just
yes, it
just
is.
stop. Just
Stop. uh,
let the grandpas of the industry enjoy their god status.
yeah. Yeah. Oh my god. Is it World War II gonna live forever? Is that my question?
I don't know. Maybe not. It's
You know?
it's probably gonna die at some point.
When will it die? Is my question. When will World of Warcraft actually die?
I don't know. It, people have been killing WoW since like Wrath of the Lich King, so
Jesus, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, like
Warcraft was supposed to be that on Cataclysm because it was the
yes,
worst expansion ever.
yes.
Then
I
it was
heard about
supposed to
this.
be that,
It was like
yeah.
Cataclysm was the end. There was no more World of Warcraft. That's it. Turn off the
The
lights and
same
go home.
the same thing happened in Walls of in Pandaria. The same thing happens in World of Draenor. The
Yeah.
same thing happens in Legion. The same thing happens in BFA. The game's been dying for like a decade now. So.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell. Like
Yeah. And now everybody's
I've
super hyped with Shadowlands. It's like, oh, it's gonna be the best expansion ever. Wow, wee! Oh my
it
god!
is
And
it
then
is interesting because the biggest thing for WoW will be that like a whole engine and like
overhaul.
art retooling kind of thing could benefit the game a lot.
Wow! But
But that's
if
I
you
don't
think
think that's
about
gonna.
it, how?
If that happens, it's just a new game.
Yes, correct.
They're not gonna.
Like
They're not gonna touch all the assets that they have in the game now.
How do you do that? Because you still when you fly to like Old Sons, you can see it. You can see like the mountains look kind of ugly for the standards.
Yeah, the lighting is different. The rendering is different. The textures are different.
Yeah. So if you're gonna do like a remaster, quote unquote, of World of Warcraft, how do you do?
No. But it's not a remaster. It's just like it could look like a modern game.
Yes.
But that's just gonna be a new game.
Yes, you're gonna put that much effort into like redoing the World of Warcraft engine and retouching all the textures and models and all sort of stuff. You're paying for a new game, technically speaking.
Yeah,
and you're only not paying for a new game. You're playing for a new MMO game, like to rebuild all the old stuff, and maybe we'll lose. Like the risk there is that maybe we'll lose his charm, right?
It definitely could, and more than that, like if you think about it, there's been people playing this game for more than a decade now, and
yes,
and a lot of these people have collected stupid amounts of stuff.
Yes,
of like titles and transmogs and weapons
pets
and things,
crazy stuff. Yeah,
and they have an emotional attachment to that stuff.
Yeah,
even I do have an emotional attachment to my character that I've been playing for like a couple of years now.
Yeah.
So it will be sad to lose a lot of that, you know?
Even if you see the new expansion, the new content has kind of like that. It has some of that modern like sensitivities in terms of models and that sort of stuff, but
yes, of course.
It still has the WoW feel to it, right? So it is definitely possible. It's definitely possible that you can go back and kind of like make a pass of all the old songs and old content and make it like kind of modern sensitivity.
It could, but it's probably, I'm pretty sure WoW suffers from that problem of putting things on top of each other that sometimes you don't want to touch the old things because it's probably going to break the whole game.
Yeah.
And actually they say that, like one of the developers said that one of the things that no one wanted to touch was the auction house.
Yeah, and as soon as they did, it broke.
it broke the whole game.
Yes.
So I can see why they wouldn't want to touch like retooling all zones and
Yeah.
assets and stuff because it could just fundamentally break the game.
Yes. Did they fix the auction house thingy, or they still going on?
They fixed the auction house. I think it's working now. I
They still
think
have
they're
missing gold.
still going through the missing goal thing
Oh, fair enough. Okay.
because they have the logs for everything, but
Yeah.
it's probably like a script that is still running throughout all the transactions in all the accounts.
Seeing what is missing and what is not missing.
Yeah,
So just a thing about time. Yeah.
so that's gonna take time,
Yeah.
but apparently it's working now.
Yeah. And that segue us to the next point of today is like, when is too much new stuff is good or bad for endgame, or we prefer evolution of stuff, or both. What I'm talking about here is like, when a new expansion comes in as expansion for the end game, what happened to your old stuff? What would you prefer, to just like dump all the stuff that you got and then go and grab the new things, or if that old stuff could be upgraded to look like the old things, or neither? That's my question, right? How do you handle legacy content in an end game? What do you prefer?
Uh,
It's a hard question, right? It's like, will you prefer it like, and the example is like, if you have this sword who you love how it looks, and you love how it plays, and it has perfect rolls for whatever you're doing, and then you have the choice either, and your choice is either you go to the new expansion or to the new content and find something similar with the new content stuff, or you take that old item and somehow some way upgrade it to have the new stuff, right?
it
Because for
depends on the game.
depends on the game. Uh all right, expand on that.
Like for
What do you
games
mean?
like World of War,
Yeah.
the fun of the game, for me at least,
Yeah.
is to get new stuff
Fair enough. All right.
and to play with new stuff.
Yes.
So yeah, maybe I like how the weapon looked before, but that's why WoW has the transmog system, so
Yes.
I can keep the looks that I like.
Yes. That is good.
That is good, but I still like it is the best feeling in WoW is the exploration feeling,
Yeah.
and that also applies for loot.
Yeah.
So best part of a new patch or new expansion is to get all the new loot
Yes, that
and
is
play with
true.
the new things.
Okay. And then I'll put you this example. For if you're a player that doesn't have that much time, and you already at some point you like had enough time and grind these perfect items, and then you come into a new expansion, you don't have enough time to regrind of your perfect items. Isn't it be good to have like a system when you just take your all items, and for example in the WoW patch, just put like corruption stuff on it, generally some
No,
kind of currency, right? So
no,
you're you're up to date with the content.
that breaks that makes the new systems obsolete.
Wait,
Then
wait.
why would you engage with the new systems?
To upgrade your items will be your level of engagement.
Yeah,
In
but then you
case you
have
don't
to
want to
grind
acquire
for.
anything new, of course there will be like,
No, but you, the developer, like you want people to engage with the new system.
yeah,
Why would you give an option for just to bring back old stuff?
to upgrade all stuff
Yeah,
for people who doesn't have the time to regrind items. It'll be my intention, right?
but that's all there is to WoW. WoW is just a game about grinding. There's nothing else in WoW.
Nothing else but regrind items.
No, but like, why would you run the content to get new items?
I see what you mean.
Like, okay, you bring up your old items.
Yeah.
What for?
if you have a very good roll on the item and you don't want to lose it.
But why? Like,
Why?
what do you do now with that new item?
Do the new content, the
For
raids, the
what?
dungeons,
Why?
for
Why do you do that?
for loot. Ah, I see you
Yeah.
don't.
That's the whole point. Like, WoW is a game about loot. It's not a. It's not a game about anything else.
Well,
If you're being honest,
can you balance a system like that if you have like the option to like
what
kind
you're
of bring your
what
all
you're
items and
describing
then.
is only want to work as a catch-up mechanic.
All right. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I see your point. it'd be it'd be possible to do a catch up mechanic like that. It's like give like a floor for the people to work up.
Yeah, I mean, do you remember in this patch? Do you remember that we were getting these like token items that were for classes that will give you like a 415 item level, like item?
Yeah.
That's a catch-up mechanic
Mm.
because it's basically telling even if you have a character with item level 100 or something,
Yeah.
like you do a couple of dailies, you kill a couple of monsters, and you start getting these 415 items.
Yeah.
They're basically catching you up. They're telling you 415 is the base level for the game.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I get it. So that's the system. Like, just give you new stuff. Because there was, and I bring this question is because there was like a lot of discussion recently in Destiny about
Yeah,
it would be nice to have like if I have
the
this armor with this, it would be nice to like actually
Destiny
instead
is a
of.
different game
All
than
right,
WoW.
so you find it that this is a case by case thing.
Yeah,
Like
that's what I meant. It depends on the game.
it depends on the
WoW is a
game.
different beast from Destiny.
All right, so you will definitely agree that this could be good for some games, but not for everything. Like if you could
It
evolve
depends.
items.
It depends on how you build up your game.
All right.
Because WoW is it's built fundamentally on the fact that the only thing that matters is new loot, and there is no. It's rare to be at the point, or it takes a lot of effort to get to a point where you're not gonna get more or better loot than what you have.
Okay. Yeah.
But that's not what Destiny is like. Like at Destiny, in Destiny, usually at some point you have pretty soon all your best in slot kind of thing.
Yeah. You have like the best rolls in certain weapon that you like, for example.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like thing to get, and
And
then
yeah, and I'm not saying that that doesn't happen in WoW. It does happen. So,
Yeah.
for example, I got lucky last patch. I got my best in slot weapon,
yeah,
like Titan Forge 440.
Jesus,
I couldn't change it from that point on
yeah,
because it was one my best in slot weapon,
yeah,
and two it had a nice roll of
nice,
item level.
yeah.
So yeah, like, but that was that one. Like I still had to worry about the other 10 pieces in my
In your inventory, yeah,
yeah. So
yeah.
it's like for the way it is built, it is hard for WoW to. It is really hard to reach the level where you have all your best in slot
yeah,
with the right rolls for
and
you.
everything else, yeah. Okay.
So there is all like if you really want to reach that, this is the ultimate build.
Yeah.
It's gonna require a fuck ton of grind, like insane amounts of grind.
Insane amount of grinding.
Not for most people, it's not feasible because most WoW players, like it is an older demographic.
Yes, so they have
The
like
WoW community.
jobs and
Yeah, so
family and stuff to do. Yeah.
Even in the best case scenario, like you get to play daily, but maybe
Yeah.
for a couple of hours at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And what that gives you is that you get to engage with the systems, but you don't get to grind your face off. Like,
Yeah.
no, like you have 3 hours to play or 2 hours in the night before
Yeah.
going to it. You get to do your dailies. You may be able to run a couple of dungeons.
Yeah.
If you're raiding, you have that day
The-
of the week or that couple
Yeah.
of days for raid nights.
Yeah.
which is how our guild works. Like we have two
Yeah.
raid nights, but they only last 2 hours.
Yeah, I noticed that, right? They
Yeah,
they
so
don't grind it out.
yeah, because people have jobs and like people
Yes.
are tired at the end of the day. But
Yes.
that's reasonable. Like
Yeah.
out of the 7, if I play all the week, 2 out of the 7 days, 2 out of the 7 2 hour slots that I have to play,
Yeah.
it's raids. Then another ones I will be doing dailies and like the main weekly pieces of content,
Yeah.
a couple of Mythic Plus keys, and that's it. And with that, I will progress. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
but I will always have something to do. So,
That is true. Yeah.
which it doesn't felt like that when I was playing Destiny with the same time
Yeah.
allowance that I
Investing. Yeah.
have
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
because my schedule didn't change. Like
Yes, that is
I
true.
have the same time to play
Yeah.
video games. So at some point I reached a point where like, oh yeah, this is the build that I have,
Yeah.
and it's the best build. And 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 it is nothing against Destiny. Like
Yeah.
that's a that's a valid approach to let people reach the best like the best build, quote unquote,
Yeah. Quote unquote.
in
Yeah.
a month.
Yeah.
But then after that was to do raids and the dungeon.
Yeah.
But
That
at
is
some
true.
point, like like at some point we were playing the previous season, we had our boy build thingy
Yeah.
grenade,
Finish. Yeah.
and at some point I never changed it. Like
Yeah. It was the
maybe I
strongest
get
thing.
up, yeah, maybe I get a couple of updates on my items, but that happened like twice.
Yeah.
So just at that point, the game was done for me, to be honest.
So
But
yeah.
but a lot of people like that because that's what our friends who play do. Like they have
Yeah.
their build that they feel satisfied with,
Yeah.
and they just get together and do stuff for the sake of doing stuff.
Yeah, to get new guns basically is what Destiny to get like it has more of a collectionist approach, and I bring this point out because it was a gripe about the new seasons and the new system with the change in armor. It is funny because again we have to do this shirt. People are gonna complain, so they were saying like, oh, I found this piece of armor which has the rolls that I need for the build that I need, and they're very good rolls, and I wish to like upgrade it so it can work in the new season because the way it works is like in Destiny, every season there is new pieces of armor, but not only that, but generally the new pieces of armor has an extra slot for the mods that affects the activities that you're doing that season. So it has an extra slot for like a sundial, for example. It has an extra slot for things in the moon that gives you more damage and modifiers like that. But that means that you have once you change seasons, you have to reacquire that piece of armor so it can work with the new activities. And people are like
Yeah,
saying like, oh, I wish there was a way so I can bring my old piece of armor because getting good rolls in Destiny
sure,
is
but
difficult.
that's just the different types of communities that the games bring.
Yeah, and I felt it. I felt it like once I change to this season, I kind of feel the need to reacquire certain pieces of what I was using last season, which is good because it gives you something to do.
Yeah,
And but I would like to have a system when I can just upgrade my old pieces, so I don't have to like grind my face off in Destiny 2. Maybe it's
but
because
what
I don't
like
want to grind my face off in Destiny 2, and I would like to see like the story pieces of Destiny 2. But even so, I don't need that much to see the story pieces in Destiny 2, except for the raid.
yeah, but to
Interesting.
see the story pieces, you don't need that much gear. Like
Yeah, you don't need that much gear. That is true. I think that's the thing.
it's just that there is like when you change seasons in Destiny, the the gear felt old, but
Yeah,
not by a huge margin.
yeah. That is true.
In WoW, every new patch, it just feels really old. It's completely useless.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying it's a huge gap of power.
All right. So I think this point is like it. you're saying that it depends in a case by case game. Like if you want to, you just dump the old stuff all at once, or to keep some, or being able to keep some old stuff working in the game as legacy content, just as cosmetic
Yeah,
as WoW does it.
yeah.
What is the
Also,
is there a correct answer to get like those? Like, how do you preserve legacy content inside a game which keeps expanding itself in the end game, right?
I mean, I'm biased towards WoW. I like the
Yes.
cosmetic approach
Yeah.
because I like to look cool in my virtual dolls,
Yeah.
but I want to be powerful as well. So,
Yeah. So,
so I
yeah,
like the freedom of dressing my dwarf power as I want.
because that was the question of like, what does motivate a player to see all content inside a game? Because this is still content besides the story thing, right? And I was thinking about like the two examples of Destiny and War, and like in Destiny 2, to see the lore, but besides that, there's some exotics that are tied to all content, for example,
Yeah,
right? And that's their approach. It's like there's some guns that you can only get if you go and engage with all content systems and see the rest of the game. And in WoW, is just for cosmetics, as I understand it, right? There's nothing exclusive
basically.
that you can get for to
Yeah,
go
no,
back and
it's
see the old content.
no. Even just the previous patches of content in WoW on the same expansion,
Yeah,
they're just completely useless power wise now.
yeah. But is that like it's in that in I put you in my shoes, like if I, all right, I want to see the content, the last content of the patch, but I would like to go back and see old content and get like kind of rewarded for see old content. But the only reward that I'm gonna get is cosmetic, which is kind of like not helping me to progress to see the new content even if I'm doing old content. That's kind of the balancing act. In Destiny, they kind of do it because whatever you get drop in those content is relevant to your power level, and it lets you
Sure.
kind of progress if you go back. Like the exotics always drop plus two or your like level that are. So how
Yeah.
do you how do you like what is there a right answer for that, for to how do you preserve legacy content inside an end game fill game?
I think the WoW approach is we don't care, and that's fine
All right, fair enough. Fair enough.
because the content is still there, and you can go and experience it, and it's fine. Like,
But what will happen if you suddenly just scale all the World of Warcraft content?
oh no, then you make an infinite amount of grind of
You make
things
an
to
infinite
grind.
amount of grind. What?
Yeah,
Like,
like if you can obtain like current power level or item level things on WoW from anywhere in the game,
yeah.
there are so many broken things on the previous expansion that there is no way you can control how players are gonna explode.
Okay. Yeah.
Like all dungeons, all bosses, all content. There's just no way to have control over that. Like you
Oh, I
open a
see.
Pandora box, there's just no end to fix. Like
But that happened in Destiny too. Like there's some all exotic that's only because of the content of the.
yeah, but Destiny 2 has a couple of exotic.
All right, I see your point.
WoW has years accumulated of randomly generated
Items that are
weapons
broken as balls.
yeah that they were broke, like that they may not be they may not have been broken at the time,
Yeah.
but maybe by the way that they're programmed to roll stuff,
Yeah.
they could roll broken.
Oh, okay. I see.
Like we don't know how the old content and the old way that the content was generated, the items and stuff like that,
Yeah.
will interact with the new systems.
So if you wanna do something like that, you will have to like kind of rebuild the item system generator from
You
the
have
old
to
content.
all the item system.
Jesus. All right.
You
I
have to
see.
make sure that you cannot explode
Exploit.
exploit like all dungeons and
Yeah.
bosses and raids and stuff like that.
Okay.
Dailies, like you have to check out all the dailies that you have in the game, which is probably a fuck ton amount of dailies.
But is the dailies in other zones still like working
Yes,
to this
they do.
point?
Yes,
Oh
all the
wow,
quests are old. All the quests,
wow. Okay.
and your mini map. When
Yeah.
you select the things to show up in your mini map,
Yeah.
there's an option to select like low level quests because
Ah.
it by default
Okay.
hides it. That's different because
Ah.
you don't want the clutter
Okay.
in the mini map. But
Oh.
but if you activate to show like low level quests,
Yeah.
it will show you like whenever you go through a zone, it will show you all the quests that you have not done
Yeah.
and all the dailies, like low level dailies.
Mm.
So imagine all the amount of dailies
Yeah, you can
that you
exploit.
have in
Yeah.
WoW.
Yeah. Of course. Jesus. All
From like
right.
vanilla, what, Pandaria, Cataclysm, every freaking expansion will have an insane amount of dailies, and that'll be really because let's say we bring it and we don't
Yeah.
break anything,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
there will definitely be a more sufficient set of
Something to
dailies to
do.
do
All right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
that could render
Any content.
meaningless the
Any
new
content
content.
meaningless? Oh, yeah. 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 I see your point. Yes. 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 That could happen. Yeah.
Because that's the best set of dailies to gear up or whatever.
And it be set in stone. Yeah. Of course. Interesting. So, what approach do you prefer? Like Destiny, when the old content like is still relevant and kind of scale up, or like World of Warcraft, with like where
Again, like what do I prefer? I prefer the WoW approach because I prefer
because
WoW as a game.
fair enough, fair enough. Yeah, but
The difference is that like it's just that there is a fundamental difference between the two games.
yeah,
Like WoW
in
has
terms of systems.
randomly generated items that just piled up each expansion.
All right. So in conclusion, it's
Destiny
a
2 has a couple of exotic.
so it'd be like a systems design thing.
Yeah.
That
And
how do you manage legacy content? It will be a
yeah,
system design decision.
and the way that Destiny releases exotics is like maybe one or two per season.
Yeah.
And by now they have what, like 50 maybe exotics? Like weapons?
Exotic weapons, they have more. They have like 30 something. 34
Okay,
something.
30 something.
Yeah.
They can still manage those. Like in a new season.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
maybe a couple of them are gonna break with the new content, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Which has happened. Like they do a patch and they break a couple of the exotics.
Yeah, yeah,
But it's
yeah,
not
yeah.
100 of exotics that broke. It's 2 or 3.
Yeah, yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
And I feel like it was designed that way from the beginning. Like, yeah, we're gonna release a few exotics
Yeah.
and they have fixed stats and roles. And whenever the new content comes back, like rolls the new content rolls live,
Yeah.
like you can reforge the old exotics with maybe a new perk system. And that only happens once, which was with the release of the new thingy free to play stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
Where
that's
they
true.
fundamentally changed the system. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
aside from that, the exotics are kind of set in stone. Like they don't change really.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. They didn't change. Yeah, the only that changes is the light level, and that's easy to change.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And even the exotic armor, like it only really changed with the new armor system.
Yeah.
That it had
But
to be
what
updated.
but fundamentally, what they do, they didn't change. Yeah.
Yeah, but aside from that, the armor exotic are set in stone aside from the light level, and you can upgrade the light level of
Yeah.
your exotics.
Yeah.
So, and the rest of the items kind of don't matter.
Yeah. It's like they're
So-
regrindable, or like if you find a good role, you can always like I've been able to do the new content fairly easy, quote unquote. With like just upgrading my old pieces of last season, and just
Yeah.
my build still works. I have to retool some stuff for like the new mods in the build, but kind of still works.
It still works.
Yeah, yeah.
But that doesn't point. It basically was Destiny was designed to be
Not as
like
grindy.
casual friendly
Yeah,
in
casual
that
friendly.
sense.
Yeah, it's more casual friendly. Yeah. So
That-
yeah,
that-
I think the answer to this is like it has to be a system design philosophy.
Yeah.
What do you do with your legacy content?
It definitely
that's
is.
it. Yeah. I think
WoW
that's
is
the
not gonna
answer.
change the way it works because right now it's just a behemoth of
Yeah,
content that
behemoth.
you're not gonna do anything with.
Everything. All right. All right. All right. Okay. All right. To the next point. Now that we answered that question, PvP and game balance in PvE games. So the point is like,
No,
what rewards do you what?
the
Talking
answer
about
is no.
answer is not talking about like this controversy about like World of Warcraft suddenly lose his PvP vendor, and like there is not enough support for like PvP in Destiny, and it does not give you good rewards. There is like not worth it to like go and do PvP one on one in the Division 2. So it's been like kind of a problem to balancing how much rewards
Yes,
do you
of
give
course,
in PvP for you to
of course,
work in PvE. So how
of
powerful are
course, it's a
you?
problem.
So the
You're-
question is like, how powerful should you like? Is this wrong or is this should be like that? Like, if I just engage with the PvP side of the game, should it be reward enough to go and do some random PvE activities, even if majority of the or if the part that I engage more and I enjoy more of the game is the PvP content, why should I not be rewarded as the people that engage a lot with the PvE content?
it is because, ah, like for example, in WoW,
Yeah,
like you don't want, like it will feel bad. For example, you're a PvE player and
yeah,
you've been doing the raid, you're doing heroic raid, and you're
yeah.
doing mythic raid, and that's your path of progression.
Or
You're
yeah,
getting that, you're getting your gear,
yeah, 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 yeah.
and you can do this. You can clear the raid once a week, and it's gonna take time.
Yeah.
And then like come this player gear out from PvP who can just destroy you, like outperform you in the raid.
Yeah, but that can be balanced, can it?
Yeah, but that doesn't feel fair.
Okay, all right. So you feel
Or
like
the
it
other
won't
way
feel
around,
fair.
or even worse, the other way around. Like you have this hardcore mythic dungeon player.
Yeah,
He pushes plus 20 keys every week
yeah,
consistently.
yes.
Zero skill in PvP, but he can just out stomp you out of outgearing you
In PvP,
in PvP. Feels bad. Like
yes, but like,
there
can
is no way to balance those things because balancing means that you keep them completely separate and that you're just splitting your player base and that
that
doesn't
is
make any
true.
sense.
Yeah, yeah,
Or you just make everything kind of the same in the game. But then what's the point of that?
that you choose whatever activity you want to do for gearing up.
Yeah, but you know this, like the builds for PvP are different from the builds for
For
PvE.
PvP, yeah, that is absolutely true. Yes, yes.
So if they were not to be the same, like if you somehow find a way to make them the same, that feels kind of meh, you know? That 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 destroys like uh, uh, um blah 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 a mention of variety for the game. Like if you make everything homogeneous, it feels kind of meh
But
to me.
that's the constant complaint of PvP players in the majority of these games, that they feel left out because their favorite activity is not giving them enough reward.
Then fucking go play a PvP game.
Jesus. All right.
Like I won't take that complaint for the Division 2, for example.
Yeah.
Because the whole point, like the whole selling point of the Division 2
Yeah.
is that you can grind your face off
Yeah.
and then go stomp people with your gear.
Yeah. Yeah.
In
Yeah.
like in on
On the Dark Zones.
yeah, but how is that they call it on
The conflict thing?
the not normalized Dark Zones.
They're not normalized. Yeah, 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 yeah.
But that's the whole that's the interesting part of the
Yeah, the
Division.
division. Yeah, that's true. That's the whole selling point. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So people complain, oh, it's not balanced. No, I mean, shut up.
Yeah.
That's not the selling point of the Division. Like the selling point is you go out and get gear, and then you go stomp noobs with your gear.
Yes, yes.
That's the fun part of playing the Division. Is like, oh no, I'm looking for a balanced FPS game. No, it's not.
Yeah.
If you want to balance third-person shooter or like third-person
Third
shooter,
person, yeah.
go play, I don't
Gears
know,
of War.
Gears of War,
Yeah, Gears of War is a balance.
whatever thing
PvP third
exists out
person,
there.
yeah.
But that's not the selling point of the division.
Yeah.
So that complaint for me is kind of, yeah. If you're playing the Division 2 for the balanced PvP experience,
You're
you're kind
doing
of
it
doing it for
wrong.
the wrong reason,
Yeah, you're doing it wrong. Yeah, and that's in the case of the division. What
in my
about
opinion.
yeah? What about Destiny and WoW? Do you think that the PvP players from those games should be rewarded
You know, that
to be
doesn't
able
seem that
to
much.
gear up?
I never felt that problem in Destiny, to be honest. Like, I was never like, okay, to be fair, I hate the competitive
Yeah, you hate the
playlist in
PvP.
Destiny.
Yes, that is true.
But the casual, the casual PvP,
It's super fun. Yeah.
I enjoyed it quite a lot. And
Yeah.
I even played the wolf guy, the thing, how's
Iron
it
Banner.
called? Iron Banner
Yeah.
thing. I
Yeah,
played that. I
But it's
gear up with
not.
that.
But it's technically not normalized PvP. Yeah.
Yeah, it is not normalized, but it's not competitive. It's
Yeah.
and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And my gear was always a mix between the things that I got doing PvE and things that I got doing PvP.
Yeah.
Was it really balanced? Not really.
All right.
Did I really care? Not to be honest, not really, because
Fair enough.
that's because maybe I didn't play competitive. They didn't care.
Yeah.
But like the casual PvP in Destiny is a lot of fun. Like you just go out, shoot some people, and you may or may not get some upgrades. And
I feel that is the lesson, right? Like over all of these examples, I think that's the lesson. You should not build a serious PvP thing inside an RPG game. Inside a loot inside a loot incentive or RPG game. I feel like that's this feeling. What about what is the thing about? I think the thing they complain about the seller, the PvP seller that they remove in WoW, I feel that it's not about the gear or the loot that they get doing PvP, but it's more about that they used to have exclusive rewards.
Yeah, and then they should. Like
so then you feel that's better, right? You as a PvP, a serious PvPer, you should get some kind of exclusive rewards. That is not like way broken that the normal. That doesn't incentivize people, because that was the other problem about Destiny, that the best weapons in Destiny came from PvP. They fix it, they kind of fix it.
The problem with Destiny is that they are intertwined. Like the best PvP weapons come from the raid, and the best PvE weapons come from PvP stuff. Yeah. Which makes no sense whatsoever.
Yeah. Which is like, what are you doing?
And that feels wrong. Like,
so
like in my opinion, the best PvE weapon stuff should come from the most difficult PvE activity.
Yeah. And the best PvP things should come from like the most difficult PvP.
The best PvP should come from the sweatiest competitive list and PvP challenge stuff.
Yeah, and you should balance it like that. Like you should actually balance it like that.
Yeah, and if you see, because it feels bad, like to see in Destiny, like a guy running with a submachine gun that you get from one of the things in PvP.
Yeah, the recluse.
Yeah, whatever. But like, he's just stomping everything, and it's like, well, then what's the point of playing PvE?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it sucks. Like it just sucks.
Something
like
similar, yeah. Yeah, I think in that case, yeah. So you think like that the best answer for this, I think in our opinion, the best answer for this is like keep some exclusivity in the sites, right?
No, the answer is you have tiers of players. So the best, like the top of the best things for PvE should come from PvE.
All right.
Best things for PvP should come from PvP. Right. But that's like the best.
Yeah.
Anything below that, you can mix and match, in my opinion.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Because it's not the best. Like it's.
It'd be nice if you can get the recluse out, playing like a super casual PvP game mode, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, if like if the recluse were a random run review playing like the casual playlist or the explosive things, and then you get it from playing casual PvP randomly, then
Yeah.
that would be good.
That
That would
would
be
be
fair.
fine. Like
That would be
that
fine.
being the
Yeah,
best PvE weapon, if you can get it casually playing, fair. That's fair game.
yeah. But like if the top rewards should be like should be linked to their activity, right?
Not only link, but like it should be balanced too.
Pilot for their activity. Yeah,
Yeah, it's just like anything below the best, like the best should
yeah.
be come from the same activity. Anything below that, you can mix and match
So to be clear,
because it doesn't matter.
if I grind the PvP playlist, like competitive stuff, really sweaty. For that, I should get like a very good hand cannon that is very very good in PvP.
Yeah, and that it sucks balls in
In
PvE.
PvE, I
Yes.
find that fair.
Yeah,
I
of
find
course
that
that's fair.
I think that's the thing, right? That is cool.
The problem that WoW has is different. Is that uh, at some point they try to balance the classes for
Yeah,
for more balanced PvP play,
yeah.
but that kind of make them all kind of samey.
Okay.
Like all the specs are kind of samey in
Yeah.
WoW right now.
So that's the reason why they remove a bunch of stuff, because there was unbalance on PvP.
Yeah, like at some point I think it was on Warlords or maybe before that.
Yeah.
No, it was in Cataclysm
It was in
actually that they
Cataclysm, yeah.
removed the old
The things that they're gonna
skill
bring
tree
back in
system.
Shadowlands.
They say that they are changing something. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it was in Cataclysm that they basically removed the skill trees,
Yeah.
the classical skill trees, and they give this talents kind of approach that we have now, which means that all classes have like some kind of stealth, not stealth, but like a movement ability.
Yeah.
All classes have a break
A
from
blink.
movement impairing.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
All classes have an ability that can change the threat
Yeah.
from you to another thing, player or something.
Or to yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, or to yourself or away from yourself.
Yeah.
So like all the classes,
Yes.
and that kind of makes them all feel kind of samey.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Like even though they for sure have different flavors and they play
Yeah.
in different ways and the rotations are different.
Yeah.
It just makes it kind of samey when you're doing PvP.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the important stuff in PvP is knowing what things to interrupt and
Yeah.
when to interrupt and when to use some of these big cooldowns that
Yeah.
everyone has, and now the game is balanced or the skills are balanced out like GCDs,
Yeah. Global
global cooldowns.
Yeah.
So all and a lot of classes are like they revolve around global cooldown.
Yeah. And
That makes them
that's a big complaint, right? That
and that makes them play quite samey for the
Yeah.
most part. So that's when and that was done to have a better PvP experience, because before that any rogue will stomp anyone in PvP. And that was the end of that discussion.
Yeah, I saw that when Classic
Yeah.
came out. It's like you can like combo him out like with like 5.
Yeah, because the rogues used to have like a lot of stealth, a lot of movement interrupts, a lot
Yeah.
of stuff like that.
Yeah.
And other classes like mages didn't have anything.
Yeah.
So they'll just get destroyed.
Yeah, fair enough.
So
Yeah.
it makes a better PvP experience, but it makes all the specs and classes feel kind of samey, and
Yeah.
that's bad for an RPG.
Yes.
So my argument is, like you should make the classes more different, maybe.
Yeah.
And maybe let's just forget about PvP. Let PvP be what it is. Be
And that's
chaos.
Be chaos. Yeah, I think you should always get like yeah. I think that's the answer to that.
Yeah,
we
but
can move
that's
on.
kind of a different problem that that problem is really specific to WoW.
Yeah, in terms of balance, yes.
Yes.
All right, so now we're gonna play the wheel of the end game. So, which end game should we fix or not?
Okay.
In Destiny 2, should we fix the end game of Destiny 2?
Yes, of course.
What should we put
Um,
in the end game of
What?
Destiny 2?
I don't know, but I can tell you why, because I don't
Alright.
care about the end game right now.
Cool. Tell me why.
Because
you don't
I
care.
mean, that's a reason. Like, if
Yeah.
I don't care about the end game,
That means that it needs
maybe
something more.
maybe something's wrong with the end game.
Fair enough.
and like, I know that I'm biased against Destiny, but you
Yeah.
have the same experience as me. Like, you really don't care about doing it. Like,
Yeah, but by now it's like, I just want the new guns because I want the new guns. And that's
because
it.
collection.
Yeah,
but
just for
that's-
collection. But that's kind of not enough.
Yeah, but you really don't care about like doing the raid every week, you know?
Yeah.
And maybe that's a problem.
Yeah. Yeah, true. Yeah. Yeah.
How? I don't know. I
Yeah.
feel like
I feel they should
I don't know.
I feel they should maybe take more of the approach of World of Warcraft, where their new content has to be radically different than the old content.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But then they cannot do that because that breaks all their exotic system.
Yeah, I know. It's just a thing. Like they should get
I
like
feel-
better, like weirder abilities or roles in the guns. Maybe that will make it more,
No,
more
Do
exciting.
you know what could help?
What?
A tier-like system for endgame activities.
A tier-like system for endgame.
Yeah, so you
activities.
like WoWs in the raids in WoW have like LFR, normal, heroic, and mythic.
Okay, yeah.
It's the same activity, but
with
it kind of it gives you a path of progression for going to I'm running with public to pops into just like more structure.
They kind of have that for some of the other activities, right? But not for the raids.
Yeah, but it could be useful to make because it felt intimidating.
Yeah.
Just to go to random people, not knowing what to do.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
No, or that's how I felt. Like I don't know what to, and like I don't know what to. I'm gonna get jailed at.
Yeah. So
do I really want to put myself through that shit?
Yeah, so kind of have a tier system for the raids, which is one of the most interesting content that they have, because they have it in the other sites. They have it in the Nightmare Hunts. They have it in the dungeons, where they have actual tier systems.
Yeah,
and to be able to clear that content.
But not only that makes it easier for people to say, okay, I'm gonna queue up, quote unquote, for the lowest tier, so that I can kind of learn the dungeon and the thing and the fight and the stuff.
Yep.
And then once you feel comfortable, like you can see how that makes people say, okay, now I'm ready to look for an experienced group of people where we can clear the next level.
Yep.
And after doing it a couple of times, you're gaining confidence with the fights and the stuff.
Yep. So they should have that system in the raid. That will be one of the fixes that you will.
It could help to make it feel, because the raids are not that hard.
Yeah,
really,
that's true.
But they're just full of mechanics that you need someone to explain them to you. And
it'd be so much easier if you can go through it
and they do have like a guided raid thing,
but that never works.
That never works. That never took off. The queue times are like hours long, so that's not really work. That's a failed attempt of that.
Yeah.
And they should rethink how to do it.
All right, cool. That's a nice suggestion. I agree with you. I agree with you. In the Destiny 2. What about the next one, the Division 2? Should we change any of the endgame in the Division 2? More raids?
They should definitely have more raids. I don't know what's going on with their development.
Yeah, they've been
a little bit all over the place, balancing, and I feel like the Destiny the Division community complains too much about balance.
Yeah,
and the development team have been hitting their heads against the wall of balancing stuff.
Yep.
And maybe they should pump out like more raids and content.
Yeah. They may be very
Sadly,
consistent and actually put like dungeon-like content out, right?
yeah, like the missions, like I mean
Yeah,
the stronghold things in the
the
division to feel like
explorations,
dungeons.
yeah, and the explorations,
Yeah, and that's fine, but
the expeditions, which are the new dungeons, technic, quote unquote.
yeah,
But yeah, they're missing more raid content. They're missing the raid. They took too long
I
to
I really
set it up.
like the raid in the division too.
Yeah,
It was so much fun to. It require a lot of coordination,
yeah,
which is what a raid is supposed to be.
yeah. I think we need more of that. We need more raids, Division Two team.
It 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 definitely does need more
Yeah,
raids.
yeah. And that I think that's our only note for the end game of Division Two. What about
Yeah,
Diablo 3?
I actually quite like it. Like
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
it's a simple concept that it works well for the type of game Diablo is.
That is absolutely correct. I don't think in this moment I won't change anything about the end game of Diablo 3. I think it works for
No,
what it is.
and I mean you notice that World of Warcraft took note from from the Greater Rift system in Diablo
Yeah, absolutely.
because
So
that's
there
what
you
the
go.
Mythic Plus system
Yeah,
is.
so it is a good end game system.
It is a good system. The only problem is that on itself may not be enough to
Yeah.
keep a lot of people around.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
So it's a fun system, but maybe it needs more.
Yeah, it needs
And that's why it works in WoW, because it is just one path of progression.
Yeah, one
Out of the big three that you have now, because you have Raid, you have Mythic Plus, and you have PvP.
Yes. So there you go. So it's good, but it will benefit for having an extra part of progression in the end game, which for the game that it is, maybe is not feasible.
Yeah, I hope Diablo 4 takes that. It keeps that system. I hope it keeps the system
and adds something,
but it adds up to that, because it definitely needs. It's not enough to keep people around.
Absolutely. And World of Warcraft.
I like World of Warcraft. People complain. I like it.
I'm in the same boat as you. I don't think I will change any about the end game of World of Warcraft. I think it's very good. I have no complaints about it. I've seen the systems and
some of the raids are not gonna be as good as others. That's fine.
Yeah.
Things are gonna be unbalanced.
Yeah, you have a lot of ways to go into it, like a true PvP and the Mythic Dungeons. I enjoyed a lot Mythic Dungeons. I actually enjoyed that system a lot.
And a lot of people do, and a lot of people only do that, and they don't engage in any other system.
Yeah. And what about Monster Hunter World? We haven't seen the end game of Iceborne, which
we haven't seen the end game of Iceborne.
Changed a lot about the end game. But I'm talking about the vanilla Monster Hunter World end game.
I like it. It is. What is the end game? It's just like a speedrunners.
Is speedrunning and the grind for the decoration. That's it.
Yeah, but aside why do you do a grind for the decorations? Just to speedrun the hunt.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like it.
All right, fair enough.
You know what? I like the sieges a lot, like Kulturot.
We want more sieges like style kind of things.
Because they're not around all the time, which makes them special.
Yes.
And they're actual fun, different enough activities from the game.
So yeah. And that's
my take.
Yeah. And what do you want to finish the topic? What do you want for the future of endgames?
Everything together.
What?
Everything together. Throw everything in the same bag.
Everything. So you want? I think for us we want like cool, small like dungeons activities, a big raid part of the activity, and then that your actual like dailies or things that you do all the time could be good.
That's called World of Warcraft.
Yeah, so
they nailed it.
That's why they are the golden standard, I think. So that's what we want for our future end games, to kind of like learn from it and like improve on it and have that golden standard.
It just World of Warcraft strikes a nice balance between you have weekly goal.
Yeah.
Namely completing one of the raid tiers, pushing a key up to a certain level.
Yeah.
And in between all of that, you have a lot of like daily small objectives so that you can log in, do the dailies, maybe progress a little bit towards a weekly goal.
Yep.
So it's kind of a nice, smooth set of things to do.
Yep. Yeah,
And that's what
absolutely.
makes it enticing. It's not.
I absolutely agree to that. I think we want that is a good system of progression. It's a good end game structure when you have that kind of progression is cool. I think we want them to take the all the ideas from World of Warcraft and kind of work on it and improve on them and make it
Yeah.
as fun as you can inside your system. And well, I think we cover everything that it is of Endgame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We talk in depth
About
about
everything.
what endgames are.
Yeah, so I hope you enjoy the End Game Trilogy, even if it takes us a little bit of time to finish it. But it's like a difficult and hard topic to talk about. We
And
know
it's a
that.
never ending topic.
Yeah, and we can keep talking about it, and we will probably talk about it in another podcast when we analyze other games.
Yes, yes, we will.
So yeah, that ends up our deep dive of the week. Finish on our trilogy, big trilogy on the end game, and then we move up to ask out the questions and feedback. And remember, you can write this down on our email, in our Twitter account, through the stream. When I stream, you can ask your questions for the podcast, and we will answer it here. You can send us an email or smoke signals or whatever you want to get this question to us, your burning questions from the audience. So the first question for today is, why does the Division 2 is kind of like on a lull right now?
Lack of big content.
Yep. I think
That's the
just what
reason.
we discussed it. We need that rate, we need that big drop content to keep the game alive. And I think this happened because it took too long balancing the game and they didn't deliver in the second raid, which was
It
supposed to
is.
come like at the end of
It is not a
last
bad
year.
approach.
Yeah.
Like they have good intentions,
Yes.
trying to have a well balanced fundamental system where to build up stuff.
Yep.
But I don't know, like you saw the Warframe no clip documentary.
Yes.
Do you remember in one of the thing when they were interviewing Redford,
Yeah.
the community manager thing?
Yeah.
At some point, she said that they basically, at least for Warframe, they have these two different things to like. They have to deliver new stuff
Yes.
and fix the old stuff
Yes.
all at the same time.
Yeah.
Because if you do too much of one, people are always gonna complain. So
Yes.
so you deliver new stuff and everything is broken.
Yes.
And if you start and this happens to them like during 2019 they had a huge like drought of content.
Yeah.
And what people didn't realize is that at the time what they were doing was they were fixing a lot of
and they were
stuff.
putting the new engine on. They were like
Not only
changing the
that, but like they were
technology.
like they did huge. That when that happened was around the time where they did a huge revamp of all the weapons.
Yeah,
like
the
primaries
weapon
and
2.0.
secondaries.
Yeah.
They were working throughout the melee changes.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
And
I
that's
remember this.
that looks like it's not content because it is not new content.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of work for the team.
Yes.
So
That's the
it
balance.
always stuck with me that they have to play this balancing game between doing new stuff and
And
fixing the
fixing.
old stuff.
Yeah.
And I feel like the Division 2 is kind of they're trying to fix the stuff.
Yeah, but they're not doing.
They're
new
not
stuff.
delivering new things. And maybe what they don't realize is that no matter how well you fix it now, whenever you do new gear sets,
It's
new
gonna
weapons,
break everything.
it's gonna break everything again.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they haven't realized that at that point. Yeah, that you have to keep that balance and just work
And
through it.
that's hurting the community because like just people need new stuff too.
Yeah, to get hype about, to get interesting about, to go and check it out. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Even if they deliver like new missions and small pieces of content, I think it's not enough. You need
it's not enough. The new dungeons, new raids, new big pieces of content, new exotics, new stuff.
Yeah, and they've been pretty well to stick to the roadmap, except for the raid. The raid has been delayed a lot, and that's hurting them a lot. The rest of the
Yeah.
content has been delivered as promised.
No, it has been, but I feel
Yeah.
like it's not enough.
Yeah, we won the raid. And for the
Yeah.
second questions of this week is the battle pass like system good or bad for endgames?
I mean, it's neither good or bad, just a system to keep playing, to keep people coming back to a game.
So it's neither good or bad.
No. Why would it be?
No, I think it's yeah, I think it's neither good or bad. It's just a system for you to catch up and to have interesting rewards to engage with
Yeah.
the game.
Yeah, it's just a system to keep
But
people
like
playing.
I think
It's
as
not.
as far as I've seen it, it hasn't affect endgame at all.
No, and it should not. Like,
Yeah.
it's just something to keep people interested in the game while the big things drop in the game.
Yep. Yeah.
That's
Which
all
is
there
fine.
is to.
Just fine.
So
We'll.
it's perfectly fine. It gives you to work. It gives you something to work toward
Yep.
while you're like doing the usual things.
Yes. Absolutely.
It's fine. It's not an end game. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It is. I think it is a separate system from it. I think
Yeah.
that is the clarification that we are. It's good to keep you engaged, but it's not affecting what the end game is for us. It's not an achievement goal. The fact that you finish the battle pass, because it is designed to, like, if you engage with the game enough, you will finish it naturally.
Yep.
All right. So that's all the
That's
questions
it?
for this week. That's it.
Yeah. That's all for this week's episode. Once again, thanks for tuning into A Sweaty the Farmer and the Game Design. My name is Lucho, and you can find me on Twitter at Luis G. Polanco.
And I am the Long Name Gamer. You can find me on Twitter at the Long Name Gamer and on Twitch on twitch.tv/LongNameGamerTV, where I stream Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. So don't forget to share, like, and subscribe to the Sweaty the Farmer and the Game Design. Thank you so much. And we again apologize for the delay. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye. And did you know, in some countries there might be a clear distinction between plantains and bananas, but in other countries where many more cultivars are consumed, the distinction isn't made. So you can eat a plantain as a banana and it'd be like the most salty experience ever.
Plantains contain high levels of dietary fiber, which can help optimize digestion by stimulating peristaltic motion, improving the nutrient uptake, efficiency, and balancing the bacterial levels in the gut.
So yeah, plantains are good, but that's always the difficult thing. It's like, what is the difference between a plantain and a banana? In a lot of places, like, they don't have that. They want. I remember one friend tried to deep fry a banana because he thought it was a plantain.
I mean, they are different things.
There are different things, but I tell you, some places they like, they think they're the same thing. Like, what is the difference between this banana which is bigger and this banana which is smaller? The size doesn't matter.
It's not the size.
Yeah,
I think they're different, like
they're
actual species.
Of course, they're different fruits, but in a lot of places, people think they're the same thing.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, they think that they are the same thing. So when you call them, like, oh yeah, you took this and then you deep fried, and they'll look you like you're a crazy person. Why are you frying a banana?
Oh.
Yes.
According to Wikipedia,
Yeah.
there is no distinction between bananas and, like, there is no botanical distinction
No.
between bananas and plantains.
You see, but if you peel a plantain and you bite it, it's actually not nice.